Hello everyone, this is a short video on Mercury Retrograde, which is going to happen from November 25th to December 15th. We will see how this is going to affect each Lagna, but always remember this is just a general guidelines. So the results can vary according to your personal birth chart. For Aries Lagna, Mercury rules third and the sixth houses. So, third house is a house of communication, short trips, and siblings. And the sixth house is the house of workplace, enemies, and health. So, when it comes to your work, you can face certain challenges during this period, and there can be delays or misunderstanding in communication with siblings and even with coworkers also. And if you're planning for any short trips, so again delay can happen in that, or it might not go as you have expected it to be. And talking about health, so if you have had any health issues, and if it is already solved, it might just revisit. So you might have to work on your general health as well. But one thing that you can always do during this period is, if you have had any problems in the past, you can, it could be professional, it could be with your siblings. You can try and, sort it out. You can try and resolve this issue during this period. For Taurus ascendants, Mercury rules the second house and the fifth house. Now, this is the area that is going to get impacted. Second house is a house of wealth, family, speech, and the fifth house is the house of creativity, romance, and children. So, definitely, when you are making any sort of investments, you have to make a very good plan. You should not invest without, knowing where you are investing. And again, unnecessary expenditure can happen. So, always think and spend your money during this time. And even speech has to be taken care of. So always know what you're speaking. Maybe it is better to stay silent rather than speaking something and inviting troubles. If you have any creative projects, like for example, if you're planning to write like a story, or if you're in any sort of art form, and if you're planning any creative project, then this is a period where you can reevaluate this, and you can strengthen bonds with children during this time as well. For a Gemini ascendant, Mercury rules the first house, which is a house of, it's all about self personality. And then it also rules the fourth house, which is basically your home, your emotions, and your property. So, in case if you're working in real estate related firm, so then you have to be very careful during this time what kind of sale you take up. So you have to be a little careful with this. But if you're planning to renovate your home, or if you're planning to buy any property, now you have to be extremely cautious of the papers that you're going to be signing. So that is something that you really have to take care of. Apart from this, this is a period where your personal confidence can get affected, it can fluctuate. At the same time, this is a very good time to focus on yourself, your personal growth, and focus on your emotional balance. And because since Mercury is going to be retrograde, you might overthink. Overthinking is one of the negative side to this. I can say mostly that. For a Cancer ascendant, Mercury rules the third house and the 12th house. Now, third house is the house of communication, skills, and siblings. And the 12th house is the house of expenses, spirituality, and isolation. So, definitely during this time, the spirituality, meditations, yoga is definitely going to be very fruitful for you. And unnecessary expenses can actually come across. So, always plan before you spend your money. And if you're planning to take long travels, because Mercury rules your 12th house, if you're planning for any sort of long distance travel, always check your paperwork. Again, plan your travel properly so that it can be fruitful. And if you're working in any sort of communication related, career, right? So there can be communication breakdown during this time, and there can be a lot of expenses. Again, short travel. Third house is also a house of short travels. So there can be a lot of expenses related to that. Again, miscommunication can happen with siblings. That's just because Mercury is in retrograde motion, so you have to just be very careful with your speech during this time. So that's about it, and also with your neighbors as well. So if you have any issues with siblings or neighbors, a little bit of introspection and patience can definitely get you through this period. For a Leo ascendant, Mercury rules the second house as well as the 11th house. The second house is a house of wealth, speech, so basically your financial matters. And the 11th house is a house of friends, gains, and networks. So during this period, you have to be very careful with your communication, because there can be miscommunication that can happen with friends and social groups, especially if you are dealing with social media. Then you need to be extremely careful with what you are saying. Again, coming to financial matters, so there can be expenses, financial gains can delay. If you're looking to invest in something, that you need to see and understand where you are investing the money. So impulsive investment should be completely avoided during this period. Apart from that, if you have any old friends, it would be very good to reconnect with your old friends. And if you have, any plans related to financial matters, just reassess what type of financial goals and plans you have before making any investment. So that's about for Leo ascendants. For Virgo ascendants, Mercury rules the first and the 10th house. So, definitely, first house is self, it's about the personality. 10th house is the house of career reputation. So, you might not feel that very confident in the professional settings. Again, dealing with coworkers has to be very careful. You might pick up some sort of issues with your coworkers, and if you're looking for any sort of career growth, you might find some delay in it. Definitely, it is not going to stop your career progress. It can be just minor delay during this period. That's it. Again, if you're planning to start any new projects, it would be better to start the project after December 15th, because, well, December 5th, the Mercury retrograde is going to happen until, December 15th. So you can, plan your any sort of new projects, or even if you are entering a new career, it would be good if you can enter a new career after December 15th. For Libra ascendants, Mercury rules the ninth house as well as the 12th house. So, the ninth house is about higher learning, travel, and luck. And the 12th house is about expenses, foreign lands, and spirituality. So, this time period is definitely very good for spiritual practices. Now, since if you're planning to travel abroad, or any sort of long distance travel, there might be a little bit of obstacles on the way, or you might find any issues when you travel long distance. So that can arise, through this during this period of Mercury retrograde. If you're planning for any higher education, then you can also expect some sort of delay in your higher education as well. But that would eventually should get cleared out after December 15th. For Scorpio ascendants, Mercury rules the 8th house and the 11th house. So, 8th house, which is basically the house of secrets and transformation. And then the 11th house is a house of gains and network. So, if you're planning to do some sort of investments, then you need to wait until Mercury go direct, because there can be chances that you might you might come through some sort of unexpected financial issues, even in if you're investing in some business or giving money to somebody, your close friends. Now those things has to be put on a hold for some time. That is until Mercury go direct. And also, talking about friendships and social connections, so you might find some sort of misunderstandings and miscommunication in this particular area. So you just have to be very careful when you are communicating to your friends, basically. This is also a period where you can actually connect with your old friends, because 11th house is all about friendship also, and even social networks and all of that. So you can come across, or you can connect with your old friends, through social media networks and all of that. For a Sagittarius ascendants, Mercury rules the seventh house as well as the 10th house. Now, since Mercury is in a retrograde motion, right? The seventh house is all about partnership and marriage, and the 10th house is about your career, your reputation, and all of that. So there can be some sort of miscommunication in your professional life as well as in your personal life. Even if you're doing a business, there can be some sort of conflict in in terms of business as well. So if when you are taking decisions, any sort of major decisions, do not be in a hurry to take a decision. Wait, think about it properly, and then take a decision. And also, if you are planning to change your job, or if you're planning to join a new job, wait until Mercury goes retrograde. So communication has to be taken care when you are talking to your partners. It could be marriage partner, it could be business partner, and also at your work. For Capricorn ascendants, Mercury rules the sixth house as well as the ninth house. Now, sixth house is about your health and about your work, daily routine, and ninth house is luck, long distance travel. So, you might come across some sort of challenge at your work. uh, so in case if you have any sort of health issue, definitely visit doctor, take action. Or if you have had any sort of health issues in the past that might resurface at this point of time, and if you're planning to make long distance travel, so you might find some sort of delay in long distance travel right now. And make sure that you have a proper good daily routine, at least during the Mercury retrograde time, so that your health can be taken care of. And during this time, it would be always good to make plans for your long term, long term goals can be planned. Aquarius ascendants, Mercury rules the fifth house and the eighth house. Now, the fifth house is all about creativity, romance, children. Now, if you're somebody who is doing your education, then there can be some sort of hurdles, or some sort of delays or obstacles in the way of your education. But if not, if you have children, then that relationship has to be taken care, because this is a time you might have some sort of conflict with your children, or some things that might worry you regarding a children's matters. If you're in a creative field, now this is a time you might find a little bit of setback. That is only during the Mercury retrograde time. Otherwise, once the Mercury goes direct, everything is just going to go fine for you. This can be a very emotional time for you as well, because you might experience a lot of emotional shifts. So you can definitely get into meditation practice or yoga practice. So this would actually balance your give you a balance for the emotions that you are going through at this point of time. And this is a period where you can actually work on your personal relationship as well. Pisces Lagna, Mercury rules the fourth house as well as the seventh house. The fourth house is a house which is connected to your home, your emotions. So you might find some sort of setback when it comes to your home front. There can be misunderstanding at home, or if you're planning to buy any property, or if you're planning to buy vehicle, there can be some sort of delay in this area as well.
But if you're in some sort of real estate business, or anything that is connected to any career that is connected to real estate, home, then you might find some sort of setback or some sort of conflict in this particular area. Now, seventh house is a house of partnership and marriage. Now, communication with your partner has to be extremely careful because conflict can arise from the communication with your partners. It can be marriage partner or it can be even the business partners as well. So you need to be extremely careful with what you are speaking because eventually Mercury is the planet which which is about communication as well.